it's Jen Suzuki, and I'm in the industry. I meet some of the greatest leaders out there, dealer execs, dealers, GMs, and I'm bringing them in the studio to talk to me about what's making their business pop, what's accelerating their growth. I'm sharing my own personal strategies for your sales teams, so I'm ready to get after it. Are you? Welcome back, listeners. I am so excited to share a friend and colleague with you, Liz Hernandez. She's a director of e-commerce with the Morgan Automotive Group. I want you to know that Liz has sat in on some of my classes, and this girl just, whenever she opens that door and comes in, I just get all sorts of pumped, as if I needed to be pumped anymore, because she's always got this bright smile. She's so eager to get involved and support people, and the vibe that I get off Liz is like, how do we make people better? I think she's equally as excited and passionate about training as I am. Welcome, Liz.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for having me. How's your day going?
Everything is good now that you're here. I mean, I was very much looking forward to this day, and I thank you so much for your time because, you've got a zillion stores to look after. I know you're traveling around all the time. You live in South Florida, right?
Yes, South Florida, down here in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, that was my old stomping grounds.
Oh, I know. You enjoyed it. Now I'm enjoying it. You need to come back.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be back. But yeah, you sat in some of my classes before, and I think in the industry we've had this epidemic, and it's probably because of COVID. Let's face it. Things have been great, and now we have a lot of people, a lot of younger people who joined the sales force, the service force during these times where we've had accelerated growth, grosses, and things have drastically taken a turn. A lot of inventory, a lot of floor plan, just a lot of need for salespeople to be salespeople. And what we've noticed is even like a lot of managers have let off the gas, and it's such a core necessity for growth and vehicle sales, and it all ties back to nurturing team member success. But give me some intel on your views and how do you do corporate training? What have you seen that works? You see so many stores. Can you share with us like the vision? How do you tackle training?
Well, it's a collaborated effort between the stores and ourselves. We basically get with our GMs, and because our stores are personally tailored to the GMs, they have their own focused way of training, right? And you can tell the way stores develop their progress and their success by how involved your GMs and your managers are in their training, correct? And
Yes.
like you said it before, you couldn't have said it any better. COVID and that time of, where we were all enjoying the benefits of not having to work as hard. Some of us laid off the gas. Some of us thought it was, it was flowing. It's a little sad to say it was flowing.
Oh, we had the feet up on the desk.
Yeah, like hanging out. It was like, lunches and just chilling. But we forgot to culture and push, and now it's become more difficult. So now we have the leaders that are super dedicated and running full force, and they're putting their first foot front on their training, right? Mm-hmm. And that dedication comes through in their success. A GM will come in and they will lead through their managers. They'll come in, they'll hype up their team, they'll cultivate, they'll start role playing, and then they themselves grab the reins because they know how important it is to get involved with your salespeople, right? You're building a rapport, just like you got to build a rapport with your customer to sell a car, right? Mm-hmm. If your salespeople are more comfortable with selling a car with their customers and constantly with themselves training, they're better on the phones. They're better with your people. There's a calm in the store. You have an energy in the store. Everybody's flowing. People are moving. Papers are being signed. But when you don't have that going on, what's going on? You're like, waiting for the doors to swing. It's not going to happen. We have to get on the phones. We have to get with our people. We have to sit there and put your foot in the training, right? It takes energy for that. It takes time. People say we don't have time anymore. But what are you doing in the in-between? Because if the doors aren't opening right, how are you getting your people in the door? We have to focus on phone training on a daily basis, which Jen, you came in one of my stores and I walk into your training and we're fireballing and you're listening to a call and everybody's all involved and the success of those trainings shows. Appointments go up,
Mhm.
Salespeople are more confident. They get
Mhm.
easier on the phones. They're
Mhm.
answering more calls. They're setting more
Mhm.
appointments, right? But that's because you create that energy, right? That's because you come in
Great
and we
point.
focus on that training. And even I join you a couple times and you get involved. And the more people you involve, the more your people get involved in doing the training, even with each other. Because I've come in after you left and I see them going, pulling out the pamphlet. And they're like, Liz, have you done this with me? Have you listened to some of my calls? And I'm like, I've listened to a couple of your calls lately. They get interesting. These things are fun to, they're fun to listen to. I mean, you got to admit, some of these calls, they're entertainment. It's a distraction.
You're so positive. A lot of people they always look for the negative and the sales calls, which I think is a big fail. This is why actually I'm
No.
real thrilled to hear you say that because a lot of times salespeople don't want to do the calls when they know you're listening, especially at corporate officers coming into the store but they're like, "Did you hear my calls?" That right there is a moment. It's very difficult to get to that moment. That is a combination of effort. It's not me. It's happening in the store. Whatever that effort
It
is,
is.
to pump people up and boost their confidence and get behind them and nurture that success. I'm actually shocked to hear you say they were asking you, "Did you hear my
Yeah,
call?"
because think about it. You remember we're sitting in there, we're picking at each other, we're making jokes about it, but they get comfortable because even I'm coming in there and I, like you said, I have plenty of stores and my time
Yeah.
gets pulled between the stores and the calls and the meetings and it's crazy. But
Yes.
if I myself can't come into the store and you don't know my name, that's a problem because
I
I come in
agree.
to train you. I
Yeah.
come in to train you. You're supposed to know my name. You're supposed to be comfortable with me listening to your calls. You're supposed to be able to come to me and be like, Liz, I had this customer that was real difficult. I couldn't understand how to get their trade information. They were just, can you listen to that call with me real quick? Can you just tell me what I did wrong? Like, give me an opinion. If they're not that comfortable, then what are you doing with your people?
Well,
What are you doing?
there's a lot to be said with what just happened there. So it's not you have a lot of energy. I know you recognize mine too, but that's one of the things that you said and I just have to go back to that because you mentioned you're like the general manager has to get involved. They have to coach the team. They have to coach the sales managers, but they also have to coach the salespeople. Now, I think right there, a lot of times GMs get pulled in so many different directions and these stores are big. They got a lot of stuff going on. So it's
All the
like
time.
when is a general manager going to train salespeople? I mean, is that realistic expectations? Are you seeing this happen? I personally
I
think
have.
my top performing stores do stuff like this.
100%. Because think about it this way, you make time for the things that are most important for you, right? The success of your store is most important for you, right? So if you have 5 meetings with 5 different vendors or 5 different people at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock,
Mm,
what makes you think that you can't move them to 11 o'clock because your people need you for 45 minutes so
mm,
you can coach them, so you can give them your energy, so you can set the tone for your day, so you can tell your people what you need, so you guys can be successful as a team? Because there's no I in team. People say that that's such a cliche, but it's so true.
I
There's
agree.
no I in team. You
Hmm.
cannot be the success on your own. You can
And
only be the success in a group, in a store where you're trying to be collaboratively successful. It takes the team, it takes everybody. So yes, it does take the energy of a GM, which I've seen. I've seen GMs get up in the morning, come in an hour earlier, bring their people an hour earlier every
okay,
Thursday and Friday, like a consistent
okay.
basis. I've been
Hmm.
involved in some of these meetings where they're like, hey, Liz, are you available to come in and join us? And I come in and I
Okay.
join these meetings and they're great. And you can tell that that store has set that tone on their performance
Yes.
that day. And the way you enter that meeting, being positive and pointing out the great things that they've done, and then tell them things that they need to acquire for that day, giving them their goals, you set a better tone for your people that way. No, it's getting involved. It starts at the top. It
Oh
starts
my
with the
goodness.
GM, then it
Yes.
takes your managers to continue that tone throughout the day. And it takes
Hmm.
your salespeople to just grab that energy and don't let them fall because it's your fault if they fall. I can't blame my salespeople. I can only blame you. Because if you don't take your salespeople throughout the day, you don't say, hey, what's going on? What we got happening over here? It starts at the top,
Hmm.
but we have to do it. And no one can say they're too busy. It's if it's your business and it's your success, how are you too busy?
Hmm. It's great lessons. We need to hear this now, and I think that it's actually really inspiring to hear that because I think sometimes it's good to hear what you've seen that's a successful strategy, and it's about building a culture. And that's what you're seeing here in your examples here is that top performer stores are going to have the GMs really carving out the time on a consistent basis. They're bringing their energy. They are setting performance goals and they're starting this meeting early in the day. Because this is where we tend to be the freshest. We got the entire day to crush this thing, so why don't we want to just start at the beginning of the shift, to get everybody aligned, centered, and ready to, destroy this day in the most productive way. A lot of times, people will say to me, oh, these salespeople, they're sitting around, they're just waiting, like you said, waiting for the door to turn. Like, what are you waiting for? But nobody needs to be waiting anymore if they know what to do. And how will they know what to do unless there's the GM leading that conversation, right?
Yep, on a daily basis, set the tone, do a training session, do a walk around in the morning, take your people and just pull a car, butterfly it, and walk around the car. Have somebody walk around that car with the team, somebody who's most confident, or your top salesperson. Celebrate that person by telling them, hey, we want to see what you do. Do a walk around, and then just enjoy that moment with the team. Any type of training that you do that's focused on product, rapport building, or phone training is a type of training that will assist your team in being successful at some point in their day. The hardest part is understanding that they look for this. And we are not giving it to them on a regular basis. We're failing ourselves. So we need to do it. So in order for us to be successful, and those show in your results. When you're involved on a regular basis, it shows. When you focus on your training on a regular basis, it shows in your culture, in your people, in your store, in your success, in your profits, and then just in balance in general, because we all need balance, right? So it's part of balance. You need to train to have balance. I work out and I work. That's my balance. My balance is my workout life and my work. I balance out my stresses that way. You need to train your brain to work.
Yeah.
Right?
Discipline, right? Hard work. And a lot of that ties back to knowing what you got to accomplish today.
To bringing that back to an everyday culture, because it's what we've forgotten right now. It's where we've sit in complacency at the current moment, and we need to bring that back. We need to just bring that energy, the car business back, the excitement back, the fun we used to have in the phone rooms, the boiler rooms. Come on, we have to have this like
right?
the
People
phone room
screaming and yelling
Yes.
and not in a negative way. In a
No,
cheerful
the fun
way,
stuff.
boosting their team up, showing these videos where you got people just going wild. Like, it's a vibe, it's an energy. You got to find a way to build
Yes.
this momentum.
Let's go. Like let's get an appointment board going. Let's celebrate every single appointment. Get these rooms going, get the energy going. Train your people to do this. Train your people to love this and enjoy this, because that's what's going to bring them money. That's what's going to bring them peace at work. That's what's going to pay them, because we're here to pay ourselves. At the end of the day, if you're not filling my heart, my bank account, or bringing me joy, what are you doing?
I feel you. Yeah.
What are we doing?
I mean, got to bring something to the table. It's a relationship. It's a partnership.
And it's a passion, right? We have a passion for what we do. And I have a passion in customer service. I have a passion in our people. And I want everyone to understand the importance of training. And I want to understand the gratification that it brings you, knowing that you had a part in that. These people have this energy and this excitement when they're on the phones because you had a part in that. And it's fun. And it's fun when people acknowledge that in the stores, when you could say, hey, we heard this phone call and it was funny to listen to, but I learned this. And now next time I'm going to handle it a different way. But we have to give that to our people. We have to break the barriers of uncomfort and get them comfortable with being uncomfortable, because you can't be successful if you're not uncomfortable. And training brings uncomfort, but it brings comfort to get through it. Like doing this podcast brings uncomfort.
Liz was like, I'm so nervous. I'm like, you know all the answers. What do you know?
You're like, what do you bring all this energy? It's ADHD.
Oh, please. I think that, people stop challenging themselves. People stop challenging themselves, and even our leaders today stop challenging themselves and forgot about the old days that actually ignited, such excitement in this business. And I just hearing you recount it gets me excited, because we don't actually see those kind of meetings anymore. It's very few, and it's always like, put the cars back, how many appointments you got coming in today. But what you're saying is, hey, look, there's more to it than that. There needs to be teachable moments at these times together, and that you have intentions for what it is that you're going to do. I love the walk around activity. I think that kind of died out with a lot. What else died out? What else have you seen people doing that
When was the
brings
last time you saw a
energy?
walk around? You ever seen Stump the Chump? You ever
Let's.
seen Stump? Do you remember what Stump the Chump was? So when I used to sell cars, because I sold cars too, we used to do Stump the Chump, and it was a product knowledge test. And you take 10 people and put them on both sides, and you'd have a product specialist there, and you try to throw questions at him, and then it's $1 for every question that you get. So you ask the salesperson what engine piece was the how much and horsepower does this have, what wheels does
Fuel
it come with, what's the
efficiency.
color,
Yeah.
fuel efficiency, like what are the safety features, and you got to give them a safety feature and a benefit, and if you can't
Okay.
give me that, then I've stumped you. So it's like fun and engaging. It's like playing Uno
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
salespeople. It's fun. I haven't seen that in a long time. I haven't seen, well, the Stump the Chump is a big one. The butterflying the car is a huge one. I
Yes.
can't remember this
Yes.
last time I walk into a dealership and see a walk around unless we've asked for one.
Well,
Those are
and a lot of people
huge.
don't even know the product anymore, because over the years, we didn't care. We didn't need to know. We were just like, you want it?
I
Take
don't
it.
know. I don't know about you, but I'm really proud of being a Ford product specialist, because when I started selling cars, that's where I started. So
Mm,
I can still break down an F-250 and an F-150. You can email me and I'll tell you all about it, or get on the phone and I can break one down for you. And I don't even sell cars anymore. But I was super prideful in learning my product. I mean, I believe in that, and I was a good salesperson at the time. I sold a lot of cars because of it. But you also have to value that part of yourself too. If you don't take pride in learning, how are you going to be successful? So it's like you're saying, you have to train your brain to be successful. We got to take a book every day, open it up, read something, make it a product, something you enjoy
mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Great
important. Product
advice.
specialist.
Well, the same thing goes for the service advisors. I mean, let's talk about service right now. For me, this is a big part of the organization that has the biggest opportunity for growth, has been expanding over the last few years at such a fast pace, navigating a lot of challenges with short staff, technicians, even just awareness in the community about these positions has been a challenge to get the word out. But, in keeping with the theme of training, it's like, our service advisors for many years, they sort of got like pushed to the back to the recently you were in one of my service classes, and I think you got really excited because I was hired to come in and do service training when you would probably see me doing sales before. And service oftentimes doesn't even get the attention that they need and deserve, not only just as an organization. And maybe you could share some insights on what you've seen as far as people shifting to spending more time with the advisors, the importance of that, and even I love the personal reflection too about, look, you got to step up on your own. Don't just wait for the leadership to do it. You got to go out on your own and learn about the products. Half the service advisors don't even know the jobs.
It's crazy because we just hire them and you put them in a position sometimes, and it's like you said, people say they're so busy, right? But if you're
Yes.
too busy to cultivate your people, then how are you being successful? It's like the variable side. You're looking at the sales side. We do all this effort in training our salespeople. We put all our focus on them, and they're so important because they are the first line of defense. They build our culture by selling the car. But
Hmm.
in order to keep that relationship going, where is our build and service opportunity here in focusing on our service advisors? They're really not comfortable on answering that phone and delivering that uncomfortable, conversation of, sir, your
$2,800.
car's not ready yet.
Yeah, your car's not even ready. It actually hasn't even been looked at yet.
Or one where, my husband put the tires on the car and the tires are bald. And then they're like sitting there and you're like, your tires are not good, ma'am. What? My tires are brand new. They were just changed. What are you talking about? Trying to explain to a wife that your tires are bad. And she thinks her husband is, the champion. And he does
Right,
everything on
because he put
time.
the wrong tires on and the wrong size.
And
Hmm.
all you have to do is call her and say, hey, ma'am, your tire is not great at the moment, but we are working on it. Make a joke, build a rapport. Let
Yeah.
that customer know that we are on the same playing field. I'm just here to tell you, ma'am, that I'm trying to help you. I want to let you know where your car is. I didn't do this. but your car is going to be okay. I'm going to help you through. But we haven't built that. Our service advisors have a difficulty in answering the phone and getting the customer statuses out. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when I saw you do a service training, I was beside myself. I loved it. I was, the service advisors enjoyed it. They were just
Yes.
shocked that we were playing their calls and in discussing it with them. They were just like, you listen to that? Oh
Yeah.
man, just that level of oh my god. But what they took from it
Mm-hmm.
was incredible. You could see their eyes light up like damn, no one sat there and talked to me about this before. You could
That's
do
right.
this, you can say this. The
Right.
conversation between themselves, you break the barrier of I'm against you, I'm trying to compete with you, I'm gonna sell more product than you. No, how about you sold them tires, I sold that brake job. How did you do it? you know
Mm-hmm.
I helped the customer. I was able to tell the customer, I have 3 broken engines back there. They were sitting there last week. We are on a recall, can't get that engine part. These OEMs are killing us. We have
Yes.
to help our people explain this. We have
Mm-hmm.
to help our people be able to translate the difficult conversations. We take in these difficult conversations every day. We absorb them, we listen to them, but where do they go from there? What do you do with them? You tell your people about them, but how do they deliver that information? Do you tell your people how to deliver that information? Like in service advisors training, do you sit there and tell them how to handle responding to a recall to a customer that their car just came in on their tires shaking and they have a recall now that is a safety one? Some of them don't know how to explain that, but it takes training. It
Mm-hmm.
takes grabbing and guiding. And that team that sat in that training,
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, Jen, like you walk in there, they're moving a little faster because that was a painful team when we got there. They're moving a little faster now. They're
Yep.
answering more phones. They are more comfortable with taking care of a customer. They're setting more appointments and getting through the drive faster, which is what? A result of performance, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
because the leader, put the time into doing the training, into his service
Mm-hmm.
instead of only his sales. And now he's seeing the performance on that, the revenue on it coming back from dedicating that time into your people. But if you think that you're too busy to put the
That's
money
what
into
they
the
say.
service training, I don't know.
That's what
It's a
they
focus
say.
that we need to pay attention. Our service phone systems, for
Mm-hmm.
example. I mean, think about that. Think about how your service phone system works. Think about the challenges that you face in your service phone flow on a daily basis. Where does that call go? Who's answering it? Is it an appointment call? Is it a status call? Who's getting on the other side of that phone call?
Mm-hmm.
How are they handling that phone call? Are we
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to that too? Like these are things that we lose focus on in service, on the fixed operation sides, the things that bring us the most loyalty, the most customers are the ones that are the most painful
Mm.
because your service phone systems, they need attention on a regular basis. The way they're being handled, you can tell how your service department is handling your calls by your sales department BDC, because the minute you hear your sales BDC flipping out because this they're getting 1,000 service calls, your service department doesn't want to answer the phone. You're like,
It's
in your
true.
cases here. But they're pushing it to the sales BDC because they can handle the heat. They're like, okay, sir, I hear you out. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear you. I understand. And we empathize, and then we lead the customer through the way, and then it goes back to service because we need to de-escalate the situation. We need to train. We
Mm-hmm.
need to love on our people, but it takes us to do so.
Mm.
Right, Jen?
Oh, are you kidding me? I just love listening to you. I mean, because it's very real. It's very real world. I mean, look, everyone says they're too busy, and they're really not because the front line is the face of the company. The front line is the brand. The front line is the reputation. The front line is the bottom line. It is the revenue, it is how we keep the lights on. The front line is what brings customers back. The front line is, you know, people that we want to nurture and keep here in our organization and create that vibe, that energetic vibe of teamwork. and looking out for customers and helping each other out. So when they are in a training scenario, they're not feeling like there's conflict, we're fighting against each other, but that we're here to help each other. So everybody reaps the benefits when we got a good flow, we got a good team, we got a good vibe going on over here. And all of that does stem from getting people together and really nurturing their success. And if people don't have time for that, you're going to keep churning through people, paying turnover costs over and over and over and over. And the reality is, all we had to do was just slow down and actually help people be successful, like you said. Love on the people. Have
That's
time
right.
to get people together. I don't know if you have to come in early in the morning, and if it's you only got 15 minutes, you only got 15 minutes. You got 30 minutes, you got 30 minutes. But something is better than nothing, and you just have to
Invest in your
start
people.
doing it.
Invest in your people. So one of the smartest people I know in the world, and I remember this quote because I get it in my email all the time. It's all people. It's all
It's all
people.
people.
And if you don't invest in your people and you don't love on your people,
Mm.
where are we going? Because
Well,
think about
everything
it.
gets
Your
compromised.
people, your numbers are a reflection of your people. Because numbers don't lie, and your training and your efforts and your dedication and everything you do are a result of your numbers, and a result of your numbers are a result of your investment in your people.
Mhm.
So it's all people, right?
Yeah, it's nurturing that entire team member success so that they understand their role and they understand how to continuously do it better. So that all ties back to customer experience, and that's what we're all fighting for, is to provide the highest level of customer experience so people feel great about their time in your store. And it starts with a phone call. So if you're not monitoring the calls and the call handling process, and some people are using AI and some people have humans and some people have service BDC in this case, or a service advisors. Sometimes when they go to service advisors, they hit the voicemail over and over and over, and that's compromising the way that customers feel about taking their car there. And people spend a lot of money on their car, but they hit the voicemail every time and they can't get a status update. How does it when I walk into the store and they keep telling me they got the same problems year after year after year? Well, we didn't help the people understand how to correct it. So then you're just going to keep on having the same problem and not correcting it. It sounds like brain damage to me. People are going to blow out, and
All the time.
yeah. But it's not just us understanding the process, because I think you have to inspect it on a reg. That's
Oh
why we do
yeah.
mystery shops and stuff like this, because it's like, how can you really get control of the whole situation all the time? You got to have some technology in there helping you out a little bit, and
You
then
got to inspect what you expect.
agreed. And then you got to hit these targeted points with each. Look, service advisors, they don't think they're salespeople, but they're actually are the salespeople of the dealership. And a lot of times we don't even look at the service advisors as being salespeople, but they don't know how to sell. You know why they're not salespeople? Because we're going to teach them how to sell. It's funny to me when I do service advisor classes, and a lot of times, and it's the same call, 9 out of 10 times. Here's what the technician found. They throw in some weird numbers, names, things that nobody understands, and then
Codes.
yeah, codes. Yeah, and then they drop the price bomb on me. And you want to go ahead with the service? And I say, that's not how you sell, my friend. I mean, that's not how you sell. They don't go. They don't know what they're getting for their money. They don't know what the risk is. They don't know what the reward is. They don't know what the benefits are. They don't understand the value of the shop. They think they're going to go to Valvoline, Jiffy Lube. You know why? Because they don't know the difference between the two. How do we do that? Oh, we got to train the people.
We got to invest in our people, invest in them to understand the product and what they need to sell, and give them a benefit of doing so. Give them the value in doing it. Show them that. Show them the results of it too. As soon as they start doing it,
Yeah.
encourage them more. Congratulate them for doing the benefits of
Mm,
your training. We
mhm.
need to inspect it on a beta basis. You can't start it and then stop. You have to start it and continue it every single day. Take 15 minutes a day as your people coming in, stop and go over what their goals are and then train them. And then the next day, go over what they accomplished and then train them again.
Mm,
It takes dedication. You're right. It's the relationship between the top to your people. It
mhm.
comes from the top, right?
Definitely. And I think a lot of times, there's just so much chaos and fires going on in the service department. But I always come back to this and I say, let's step back. Could have a lot of these fires been avoided had we nurtured
Train our people.
the process?
Have we trained our people? Have we talked to our people? How do you handle this? Go over the difficult things. Like I say,
Mm,
you have to train them every day. It sounds repetitive and it
hmm
sounds like brain damage, but you benefit so much from repeating it, because I never assume, like you said earlier, if you know something, I'm going to show you. I want to show you first. Let me show you again. Let me show you again, and I'm gonna do it with a smile because I enjoy showing you. I want to make sure that you know. And after I leave, I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna ask you again, and I might show you again, just because it makes me feel good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's something to being repetitive because you sort of people are under stress. They're under, um, they're under the gun to get cars out of there and get them done on time, and you know, following up and status updates, and it's hard to remember to try something new. So you need a coach. Everybody
You
needs a
do
coach. Your
with them.
company's lucky because they've got enough. They got you coming around, and helping out, with the coaching and everything. But managers have to recognize the importance of just being there to boost people up. And I can't tell you how much I love that you keep coming back to praise.
It is. It's important. I go to all my stores. I make the effort of taking these trips and driving to every single one. In between all my meetings, even when I think I'm the busiest, I'm walking through a store and saying hi to people and talking about training and going over things. Because if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? I have to do it. I have to help out. I have to show them on a daily basis and remind them, doing the
Mm,
repetitive thing, remind them how important they are, because they are the most important things to us.
mm-hmm,
They are. You are, your presence, your commitment, your dedication to us is important. So I'm going to show you that it's important by making my effort and coming in and saying hi to you and training you on something, showing you something that's not working and fixing something that's not working, working with you on something that you need help with. It's just taking down that barrier of
mm,
making them comfortable with you. But in order to do so, you have to put yourself with your people.
yeah.
You have to put yourself with your people, train them, let them know who you are, make sure they know who you are. Because the worst thing that you could do is walk into a store and ask the salesperson, who's your general manager?
Mm.
He's
I
tall.
know who it is, but I never talked to
he's
him before.
he's tall. That's what you get. What? Okay.
That's wild to me.
That's I haven't had that. I haven't had that, but I've experienced it in other places, and it's difficult to understand. It's because if you don't train your people, they don't know what to do, and then you could see it in the success of your people.
Yeah.
Because if you're not involved yourself,
Hmm.
you got to build that culture. You got to build that commitment, that dedication, that passion, because it is all people.
So now, a lot of times, general managers say, "Oh, well, I've got 1,000 things to do. Blah blah blah. I can't. I got to depend on my desk managers to do the training." What would you say to him?
Who trains your desk managers? How do you know that they're training your people the way you need them to be successful? Do you train your desk managers on a daily basis? Do you interact with your desk managers? Start with your managers and with your people. You have to. Like, how are you training your managers?
Mm-hmm.
How many cars did you sell last week?
Mm-hmm.
How many walkarounds did we do last week? Are we targeted on what's going on in the market at the moment? Did we do save a deal? And when they can't answer those questions, they should be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
They should be embarrassing themselves, because you can see no success in your own attitude and your own personality if you tell me you're too busy. It's a reflection of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a reflection of me. My energy is a reflection of me, right? When I go into a store, when I leave a store, what you say about me when I'm not in the store, if you can say anything negative about me, think about it. Like, did I walk into your store with a
Sour
I hate
face.
the world face? No. Or did I smile? Did I giggle? Did I give you something? Did I leave you with a smile? Because I know I did. Imagine
Mm-hmm.
that input on your people. So if you walk through your doors and you can walk through your store and everybody is not smiling,
Mm-hmm.
what is that from? It's a reflection of you, because your store is a reflection of you. Your
Yeah.
people are a reflection of you.
You built it. You're nurturing it. Yeah. Ties back to everything that you wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Every goal you put in place is for a reason.
A
And
hundred percent.
mm-hmm. What culture do
When
you want
you're,
to provide?
yep.
Yeah, what do you want to stand for? I
Jen,
know.
this is you. You get me going, and then I'm like, I'm gonna fly off a handle here.
Okay, well, I want you to fly off the handle. I'm excited. I'm waiting for
I,
it. In three,
you know
two, one.
my my frustrations are when you don't put your focus into your people. But it's hard because the things that you deal with, like, is simply answering a phone, dialing a customer. It
Yeah.
makes it hard when you can't get a salesperson to sit down and answer a phone. Why? Because they don't know how. They don't know how to dial out. They don't know how to take a phone and call a customer and say, how may I help you? Or they don't know how to answer the phone and give a status call. Or they don't
Mhm.
know how to walk up to the door and say, welcome to so and so area. May I help you today? Or my name is so and so. I'm here to help you. That's all training. It's all
Mm.
training. If you can't walk through your store and see that, that's hard. What are we here? Because we hire people and we just throw them in these positions. And if we don't nurture them, they're not going to be successful. And then what happens is that then we lose them. And then we wonder why we lost them.
Mhm.
We wonder why they didn't sell 8 cars. We wonder why these ROs weren't closed. It's because we didn't nurture our people. We didn't give them what we promised them when we hired them.
Mm.
So who failed? It starts at the top.
Mm.
It's all people, Jen. It's all people.
It's all
And
people.
our managers sit there and they think they're waiting for somebody. So if the managers don't know what to do, who trains them?
Yeah. I mean, it is a general manager, you know? Yeah, they set the tone, the culture, and it's like when in my top performing stores, this is a regular. This is a daily, by the way. I sync with you on that. And I don't think a lot of people know that this could be a thing for them, and I hope it's good information for them to find the inspiration because people do need a coach every day, not every other day. They need a coach every day, especially when you don't know how to do something. So then you have to nurture a skill, over and over and over to create a new habit. It takes time. You can't just be like, tell them one time, okay, they're going to remember that. Like, no, that's not how it works. And people, they tend to be more, committed to you when they know how committed you are to them. My top performers, they know everything about these people's families. They know their names. They recognize when somebody's new in the organization. They could have 300 employees. They walk through there every day, say hello to everybody. My top performing stores have
Mhm.
very similar qualities and traits. They train their sales managers every day, and their sales managers would say, "My boss shows me what to do." That way, I know how to be a better coach to the salespeople. And of course, these are the people that invest in training, every day consistently. They have time carved out for it. They rotate the responsibility. That way, it's not all one manager's responsibility because I don't think that's even realistic. Everybody's got different skill sets. And I think that when managers recognize the strengths, that they can lead those conversations and that they are actually coaching the other managers on those strengths so that they all become strong in everything over time, helping one another out. But, it trickles down to your front line. Who's coaching them, but then
Exactly.
again, it's a culture.
And it's a culture that you have to be supported on a regular basis. If you're not supporting your team daily on this training, then they're not going to do it. It's like you said, you have to inspect what you expect, right? So if you're not inspecting that your managers are doing these trainings, then they're not doing them. But you're not training your managers to inspect because you're not training them.
Hmm.
It all comes from the top. It's just like we have to set like the tone. We can't just do it one time. You have to do it every day. We have to talk to you every single day, but
I
you need
get
your
it. I
hand
get
holding every
it.
day. You have to build this every day. You have to talk every day. We
Yeah.
have to say hi to each other every day. You have to be polite. You want to
Yeah.
give what you want to get what you give, right?
Mm.
So if you're not giving it, how are you expecting it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like how the old saying goes, you want to get what you give. You want to talk to someone the way you want to be spoken to. You want to treat someone the way you want to be treated. You want to dedicate your time and your efforts and your commitment to something that you want back, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you want the same treatment, you got to give it to your people. So it's the same thing. It all comes from the top. If people understood that and just nurtured that,
Yeah.
it would bring back the liveliness, the engagement, the unison that you
The
need in the store.
energy.
That energy, that connection between the sales team and the phone, the internet department and the service team. There needs to be happen. If you're not bringing it, it's not going to just appear. You need vibe, like they
Mm.
say, right? You need
Yes.
a vibe. Create
Yes.
a vibe in your training. Come in with a smile. If it takes you walking in with a silly tie to start a conversation based on how cars are sold, then walk in with a silly tie and start a conversation. But do something for your people, because if you don't invest that time into your people, you're not going to see the successes of it. So that's the hard part of it. But is it hard?
Yeah.
Is it hard to walk in and train people? Is it hard to give them something that you want?
Look, if you are here with passion and purpose, the answer is no. You know, this is not an easy industry. It requires a lot of effort, time, and dedication. And the rewards, well, they're huge. And that's why we stay. This is why,
Oh,
those that can fight the fight, and continue to grow know the benefits of this business. And not a lot of businesses will give back like this, but it takes effort. So, if it's hard, it may not be your skill set. It may not be, it may not be your strength. But you recognize that, and then you do something about it. And frankly, not
exactly.
everybody's going to have all the strengths. So you want to be vulnerable with your team so that they can see, hey, okay, I admit it, I'm not good at this, but this is what I'm doing about it. And then they see you grow and change, and and you're setting the tone, the example for everybody else. Because look, change is hard, and it's going to be required for the end of time.
It is. But what doesn't challenge you, don't change you. Right? If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So if it doesn't challenge your people, you're not going to see the successes of it. If it doesn't challenge you, you don't change. Challenge yourself for the change that you want to see in your people on a daily basis.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You're a beautiful soul, Liz. You really are. You're such a gem. You're a shining star. I love knowing you. I want you to be in my circle forever. I'm not kidding.
I adore you anytime.
Oh, well, thank you again for the time, the effort. I mean, this was uncomfortable for Liz, but we would never guess it because you're just so passionate about people, performance, training, growth, next level success, and we can hear it. And gosh, you are such an inspiration. I think everybody in the entire dealership needs to hear this episode.
Oh, God.
Yeah, seriously. We could all use a check-in. That was a check-in.
They need to.
That was real.
Love your people.
Liz, they love your people. Thank you.
Thank you, because I love you, Jen.
Oh,
You're
the
my people.
best. Thank you. If you like these episodes and my sales game techniques, you should snatch up our latest dealer education program I'm hosting. It's called Jen's Remote Classes, and it's a 1-hour, once-a-week class with me alongside other dealerships all pursuing the same end game to achieve top 10% status in your dealership. For more info, hit me up. All my contact info's in the show notes. I want to hear from you. And follow Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki right now to get notified when episodes like this one drop. This is Jen on the podcast Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki. See ya!